Hello everyone, it's Yvonne back from the Aussie Goddess to do your bonus read. I am using the Lover's Path Tarot for this reading. It's a little bit different. I'm trying to get used to some new decks so I can keep it lively. Beautiful, beautiful deck. But as usual, you know, like some of the things that are represented here come in a different shape and with a different name. So sometimes it takes me a little bit of time to get used to the new names and things, but I love it. I love reading from new decks. I always think when people say they don't like change, they don't need to be around me. I love change. I really thrive on change. So, and for a Capricorn, that has been a very learned experience over the years. Temptation. That's the Devil card. Because I never used to like change, and I worked out in the end that change was inevitable, and it was much easier for me if I flowed with the change rather than fight it. And because I made that decision to do that, it became so easy to just move into change. So now I'm very much at kind of working in government, I guess, too. Just every day is different. So, alrighty. We have the Eight of Coins coming out, which of course is the Eight of Pentacles. So this very likely could be a reading about work. The Eight of Pentacles talks about really investing your time and energy into something, like putting a lot of work into something. Now, this can be a relationship too, but it's definitely, at the end of the day, it's about working really hard to achieve something. Now, behind that I have the Judgment card, and I love that they've spelt it correctly in this deck, because people always spell it wrongly. So the Judgment card is about rebirth. You could be working on yourself here to bring about some changes within yourself. You could be understanding more about how to be who you truly are, and that might require you to really come out as a new person, like really understand yourself. Judgment can talk about something coming back too. Behind that I have the Seven of Swords. Now the Seven of Swords is the card that's always seen as, you know, treachery and betrayal. It's about trying to get away with something. Sometimes it can be something as simple as somebody holding back and not speaking a truth, lying, but it definitely could lead to betrayal or deception. And definitely that's what the Seven of Swords is about. Sometimes it's inadvertent, though. You know, somebody might just not be telling the truth about someone, and why that's lying by omission. Lying by omission, it is still lying. Okay, and then we have the Nine of Swords here, which of course talks about anxiety and depression. There appears to be some sort of situation here where you perhaps are in a situation, or you found yourself in a situation where someone has lied to you again. Or you may find yourself in that situation where you are always caught out by people's lies because you're very trusting. There is a feeling here that you're about to understand why you do that, why you're accepting, loving and kind, and perhaps don't always see that people don't have your best interest at heart. I feel that this is sort of some sort of lesson here that you've had to learn, that people aren't always honest with you. Sometimes people lie for their own gain, or try to get away with things because they think that you're, you know, they see that you're accepting and kind, and they see that as a weakness or as a gullibility, so they take advantage of it. So there's some sort of lesson to be learned here in order to rebirth yourself. Very nice. Okay, so I have the Princess of Pentacles coming out here first. Now, this is about having a message come in from someone. Could be to do with work again too. So maybe you've been in a situation where, you know, you're working for someone, you put in a lot of time and energy, and people aren't telling you the truth about your job, or about the work that you're doing. So there's some sort of something coming forward here to enable you here to see. This is sort of like a karma situation here. It's almost like you're being given an opportunity to see things without the veil, through your true eyes here. Okay, so Four of Swords here, Four of Arrows in these cards. So we're looking at taking time out And I guess that's what you're doing if you're trying to rebirth some part of yourself, or trying to understand some part of yourself that perhaps doesn't always serve. So it's like you're not doing the wrong thing. It's like you don't really see why you do something a certain way, or why you need to go deeper inside to understand that part of yourself that perhaps gets taken advantage of here. Okay, oh, there we go. And then we have the awakening. So we had, let me just double check that there. That's quite interesting though, because I had the Judgment card here, didn't I? Which is 20. So we have the awakening card coming out after that. So there's something here that's happening to you to try and bring you into your own truth here. Something that's sort of, well, awakening, judgment, trying to bring you round to understanding which direction you're going in. But it's closing something off here. There's a lot of looking inside to understand yourself. Okay, and there's transformation. How beautiful. Okay, I couldn't make this shit up, right? This is very much a very deep reading here. It's very intense because this is about you finally understanding why you do things a certain way and being able to do them differently from here on inwards. It's like you've had a lesson here. You've had something happen that's given you some sort of awakening here. And this will help you now move forward on your path because you're understanding what you do. Two of Swords coming out here. So there's a decision to be made here. And we do have the Hermit coming out. So very different reading to the What's Cracking this morning. It's beautiful how Spirit does that. And there's the end of the cycle. Very, very nice. Okay, then we have, we have the Emperor coming in here. So they call it the card of power in this deck. And it's represented by King Arthur. So these are all based in characters here. Persephone, Cupid, Abelard, and King Arthur. Now the Four of Cups is coming in here. So what I want to say to you is whatever you're learning here, you won't do it again. You won't do it again. You've got it. Look at the Strength card coming out as well. So it is it's almost like a personal reading. So I want to say whoever this is resonating with, this is for you because this is such a personal reading. If you have been going through your life doing things that have never felt like you got the best result, if you have been going through life doing things a certain way because of how you learned them in childhood, if you have been responding or treating people a certain way because that was what you were taught to do, there seems to be this complete rebirth, turnaround, awakening here to try and move you forward on your path. So it's like you're being given an opportunity to learn a lesson about what you do to help you move forward. It's really beautiful. So we have you working on yourself here without a doubt, because there is the card of Judgment. So you're looking at rebirth here. So we do have the Seven of Swords coming in, which is somebody trying to trick you, get away with something. And I'm thinking here, even though this has caused you stress and anxiety in the past, you are now, this is the card of being defensive, standing your ground and understanding. So it's like you have been given an opportunity to change that part of you that hasn't, your shadow side, trying to understand this shadow side of yourself that perhaps has not netted you what you wanted and is not about your worth, is about what you've been taught or who you've been taught to be. So there's this feeling here of being able to close out this cycle, being able to move forward very differently. This will be perhaps for some of you approaching love in a very different way. It could be about you understanding how you're, maybe some of you have had a poverty consciousness. Something has been standing in your way. You've had a block. There's been some sort of block stopping you from getting what you want. And that block has never been or has not been up until this time recognizable. And that block is something that was implanted in your memory, implanted in your psyche many, many years ago that has allowed you to believe that you don't have the value to be who you need to be. Now, it doesn't matter what happens. Sometimes you can go through this 1,000 times and not really still understand what your blocks are. And that takes sometimes a lot of time of meditating and allowing, yourself to be who you are. And it doesn't mean that you couldn't do it before. I'm feeling here that the time was not right for you to do it before, because you're closing out a cycle here. And this cycle is about learning about who you truly are in your world and how you present yourself as, somebody who is really worthy and valued. So very, very deep meanings here, but a very beautiful reading, because what it's saying here is what you've struggled with for so long, trying to understand about yourself, is about to be changed. You're about to lift the veil. You're about to look into your true self and see who you really are here. And this blockage is coming in a form that is probably some sort of awakening, realization, epiphany, however you like to see it. Okay, and I have the card of Yin coming out for you here. So the Yin is the card of non-action. It's the card of waiting and being patient. And that's sort of very relevant to this reading, I think. Okay, so the feminine principle of receptivity, letting someone else make the first move, gathering information and taking in cues, the art of conscious allowing. This is a time of calculated receptivity as you gracefully await what is coming to you, ready to accept it when it appears. Yin does not involve frozen dreams or even resting, but rather consciously allowing things to flow to you, poised to receive the bounty that will be made available to you. It implies sensitivity as you alertly study the actions of others and contemplate how they will affect you and yours. Remember, you must make space for miracles to appear. Be the shaped, not the shaper, and you will see how quickly your dreams manifest. How beautiful is that? So there you go. Very deep and meaningful reading. For some of you, this may have already happened. For others of you, this is an unfolding over probably the next few weeks. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.